Welcome to episode 60 of the Sports Marketing Machine podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Neisser. Today, we sit down with Luke Sawhook from the Hudson Valley Renegades, a single-A affiliate of the New York Yankees, and we're talking all things TikTok. We're talking about what's working, what isn't working, how to create content quickly, how often he's posting, and some of the metrics that he's seen over the last 3 months by creating a consistency of what he's posting and the tone that he's been posting with. One thing I do want to call out is Luke and I met via LinkedIn, and he posted about some of the metrics that he's seen over the last 3 months, and we're talking millions of impressions and video views. So without further ado, let's get to it. The Sports Marketing Machine podcast, the podcast for those working in sports looking to level up their marketing skill set so they can sell more tickets and grow their fan base and sell more merchandise. Today, we're going to talk all things about TikTok, what's working now. I stumbled upon this gentleman, Luke Sawhook from the Hudson Valley Renegades. I'm cruising through LinkedIn. All of a sudden, I see this post about some amazing metrics and numbers. And Luke and I have connected. And so, Luke, welcome to the podcast. Looking forward to digging in, talking all things TikTok today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thankfully, the LinkedIn algorithm gods have placed me into your life, right? And well, you placed you into mine as well. Very excited to be here talking some LinkedIn. As you mentioned, I work for the Hudson Valley Renegades, high A affiliate of the New York Yankees. I work full time for them, and I operate their social media. I'm their marketing and social media manager, and we've had some great success on TikTok recently. So happy to be here and talk some shop.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about your background. So you've been with the team now. This is season number 2 full time. We'll dive into that a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So I worked with the Renegades in 2022 as an intern. I came on from May to August and, worked on site as an intern, operating social media accounts underneath my boss, who was in the position I'm in now. I went back to school that fall, and then from there, I was able to apply for the full-time position after my boss left the Renegades that winter. And they were kind enough to, well, one, hire me, and two, let me work full time while I finished school. So I graduated from I almost said the University of Miami. Very different. Miami University in Ohio, not the one in Florida. Very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from there in May of 2023, and while I was still working full time remote with the Renegades my spring semester, I worked for them from February to May while I was still at college. I had classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays for about 4 hours. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was working remote at my desk 9 to 5. And then from there, I graduated and moved out to the Hudson Valley the day after I graduated school. And I've been here full time since last May. Boots on the ground here, getting ready for season 2 to start here in less than a month.
Yep. Super excited for minor league baseball to get started, Major League Baseball as well. So a lot of great things. But the big thing that caught my eye was just some of the eye-popping numbers that you posted in that LinkedIn post about TikTok growth, TikTok engagement, impressions, followers. So I wanted to kind of ask you, can you give us a rundown of some of the numbers, the metrics that you posted there and shared?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a killer month. I can pull up the numbers here. We had a really big success posting about Snooki Night. We had a Snooki from Jersey Shore come to the ballpark last September. She actually worked at our stadium when she was in high school. It's a pretty fun story. She's from the area. Snooki worked for the Renegades before she, made it big on Jersey Shore and started her whole little celebrity lifestyle. She was at the ballpark, and we were just digging back into our arsenal of, footage I recorded on my phone and B-roll we had from that night in September during the off season. There's not a lot of baseball stuff going on. We had 2 huge pops on TikTok. And just in the last couple months here in January, we had a TikTok of Snooki judging her lookalike Snooki contest. That got 4.2 million views.
Wow.
And then on top of that, we had one in February, towards the end of February, get another 1.1 million views of her practicing her first pitch, I believe. Or no, what was it? I forget exactly what it was. It was another Snooki video. So those two videos alone combined for over 5 million views. And that was a huge boost for us organically. And to call back to those analytics that you mentioned, over the last 90 days, this is a screenshot from a week ago. Over the last 90 days, we gained 1,392 followers, 320,000 likes, 62,000 unique profile visits, and 5.35 million new video views. So it was a huge month for the Renegades, or 3 months for the Renegades on TikTok, and I really hope to keep the momentum going here into the season.
And it's not just Snooki content either. You're
No.
posting a lot of other content. What are some other pieces of content of really taking off during that time period?
A lot of it is our top prospects, right? I
Mhm.
mean, we have a lot of Yankees fans who follow us on TikTok. And the thing about TikTok that I really like, and we can get into a little deeper here as far as strategy goes, is TikTok allows you to hit any audience you want with their hashtags. The hashtags are a really powerful tool on TikTok. It'll put those videos in front of those kind of folks who consume content under those hashtags. For example, the Jersey Shore video, we did hashtag Snooki, hashtag Jersey Shore, hashtag Jersey Shore family vacation. And then all of a sudden, all these Snooki people are seeing our videos, or people who typically engage with the Jersey Shore fandom. So it's in the same vein there. We had a few videos that did very well featuring our top prospects. Spencer Jones, for those who are not familiar, is the Yankees' #1 prospect. And we had him on our team for the vast majority of last season. So we have a lot of videos of him hitting BP and, coming up to the plate as, the announcer says his name and stuff like that. And not only that, but just staying on trend and finding things that are really, niche in the moment. We had some fun times with that one Kevin James meme from back in like October or November or whatever that was. We've had a lot of fun just doing little green screen cap cup templates, and those are super simple. You can just take a picture or whatever and just throw it on there with the trending sound. Easy money. A lot of it's just those powerful hashtags and utilizing consistent posting. The thing I love about TikTok, to end my long-winded rant here, is it's the best platform for organic growth, because it doesn't matter if your follower count is 10 million or 0, it's getting fed into the same algorithm. Followers don't really mean that much on TikTok. It's all about getting into your For You pages for your audience and utilizing those hashtags and posting content that your audience will engage with is key to growth over there. And the biggest thing that we had struggled with in the past on TikTok is consistency. And ever since we've upped our consistency and posting about 3 times plus a week, we've really started to see consistent success in getting those view counts up, like counts up, a repertoire with our audience, and those following numbers have consistently been trending upward.
So you're posting 3 times a week. Where are you coming up with, number 1, the time, and number 2, the ideas? Because I think those are the 2 that teams struggle with, specifically teams that have smaller staff members. I got to come up with a dance video. I got to come up with this. But you're not doing a lot of extravagant posts, right? So you're
Right.
posting a few times a week, but where do you come up with the ideas, and where do you come up with the time?
Right. So as far as the ideas go, I think people get caught up in the production value a lot of video content because, listen, we have a full-time video production manager, right? And a full-time graphic designer. We care a lot about the quality of the content we put out in general, but TikTok doesn't. That's the thing. A big part of social media management is understanding what your audience wants and needs on each platform. Instagram, for example, needs a much more visually appealing piece of content to engage with. That's what performs best over there. On TikTok, they do not care. We've actually found that our content performs much better if it's just shot on an iPhone and with minimal editing rather than a cinema quality camera and highly produced, visuals. They don't really care. They want shortcuts, little bursts of attention, and things that are done in a more casual style. They want things to feel organic and authentic. So that's kind of a thing that's really helped in terms of getting things pumped out consistently, is remembering that the quality is not that important. Obviously, you want to give people good content, right? But you don't have to do it in a really high production style that requires, scheduling a time to shoot with a higher quality camera and then taking that footage and putting it in Adobe Premiere and then chopping things up and adding visual effects and sound effects. You don't have to do that. A thing that I found great success with, again, is finding these accounts that are green screen focused. I don't remember any off the top of my head. There are tons. But there are a lot of accounts out there who post dozens and dozens of little clips and things from TV shows and movies and pop culture moments on TikTok with a green screen background that the person already cut out for you with a button you can hit to go and use it in CapCut. I've used a lot of those, and they perform pretty well. There's a high ceiling on them because you can be really funny with your messaging and the caption you put on screen. But it's grabbing a little thing, taking a little photo, putting some text on it. You can get it done in 5 minutes or less. And it really helps save time. And as far as the ideas goes, they're giving you plenty of things. And with TikTok, again, it's a platform that's a lot based on tone. Like Twitter, you can have a lot more fun. You can really take the tie, make it loose, unbutton your collar, and have fun. On TikTok, you can do whatever. I encourage anyone out there who's listening to go check out the Buffalo Bills on TikTok. Very serious brand, really prominent organization. They do some random stuff on there, man. They have a lot of fun with it. And I think that's something I really strive to do, is just don't really care as much about being a baseball team, care about just being a fun personality, and just go with it. You know what I mean? So I would say just don't put yourself in a box, expand your horizons to anything that's fun or interesting, and look for trends and try to copy them. Seriously, like don't plagiarize people's work, obviously, but seriously take inspiration, especially on social media. Inspiration comes from everywhere. Everything's been done before. These memes of the moment, these trends that happen spontaneously, those are the things that are going to have a nice pop for you and a nice bump. So just grabbing what you can from those and using them to your advantage in the moment, rather than having something, like, listen, you can have something planned on your content schedule, like, merchandise related TikTok, sure. But I feel like a lot of the times you're not going to have a fully fledged out idea. Oftentimes I don't even have something on my calendar. I usually just add it in, say, I just put TikTok, and then I'll open the app and figure out what to post. Because it kind of just comes looking at those green screen accounts or other ideas I see other teams do and stuff like that. It's a lot more on the fly than my other platforms because a lot of it's pretty free flowing.
You bring up such a great point. Oftentimes when I flip through TikTok, I see sports teams that only post sports-related content about their team. So if it's a minor league baseball team, they're only showing baseball clips. They're only showing these. Whereas you're like, hey, we're more than just baseball. We're entertainment. We're fan experience. We're all of these things. And that's the tone. That's the bucket that I'm living in. Did I catch that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it too is, you want to build that brand loyalty. And people really, really like, again, authenticity and not being spoon-fed branded content on TikTok, similar to Twitter. They don't want something that feels like an ad. They don't want something that feels like you're trying to sell them something. They want fun. They want engaging content. So when they come across something that's just a funny video, regardless of the context, and they say, "Oh, this is a minor league baseball team. This is not, I don't know, some random meme page." Like, yeah, I'll follow them. That's cool. Why not? That's funny that they're doing that, Especially if you're a baseball fan too. If you're a baseball fan and you see this team who's doing something interesting, I think it catches your attention. You want to stand out from the noise. And I think TikTok's a great platform to get out there and experiment with your voice and your tone and really find out what you can do as a brand voice in the space. Make some noise, have fun with it. I think TikTok's the place where, if anything, you can experiment and do whatever you want. Like I mentioned too, on TikTok, it's not like on Instagram, or Facebook. If you follow the page, you see majority of the posts. It's not like that at all. Random people will see your post about 95% of that view count, rather than your followers. About 5% of it's probably your followers, or maybe even less. On a viral video like the Snooki one that got like 1 million, for example, less than 1% of the people who engage with that video is our followers. So you can really get outside of your normal audience, outside of your normal brand voice, and do fun and interesting things.
Yeah, that's such great points, great tips. Talking with Luke Sawhook from the Hudson Valley Renegades. Let's talk about tools, because you're probably using CapCut, you mentioned. What are some other tools you're using to cut up some video and chop up and create fun, engaging content?
Really, a lot of CapCut, honestly. I mean, I'll dabble in Premiere here or there. Majority of it is first of all, the organic editor they have within the TikTok app. If you just dump footage in there, want to put some text on the screen, make a couple cuts, it's really easy to use, and that's one of the reasons why TikTok's so popular, is because you can do it all in one app. And then CapCut from there is if you really want to level it up and use some of these green screen templates and whatnot. But that's all I really use. There's not a lot of secret sauce here. Again, it's not a lot about the production value. It's a lot about what you're giving people in the sense of making entertaining content. TikTok, I think a lesson I learned from Mr. Beast, actually, who's a very popular content creator and YouTuber, most popular in the world, actually, from his videos. With audiences' attention spans getting shorter, especially on TikTok, where people can scroll by your video in a nanosecond, you want to have cuts or something different appear on the screen, or, like, let's say, for example, you have a 10-second long video it's very easy to put at the top one thing of text that stays there the entire time. But instead, I found it's a lot better to have viewer retention for your video, to have one piece of text for 3 seconds, and then another for 2, and then another for 5, rather than one for 10. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
Just keeping those things chopped up and shorter, that keeps the audience's attention better. So again, you don't really need to use a lot of fancy tools. Just things that you can use to chop up bits and pieces and put text on the screen is really what I found to be successful with.
Now, you're doing the paid version of CapCut or the free version?
Free.
Well, that's even better. A lot of teams hesitate to spend money on tools to create content
Yep.
because they're looking for the ROI here. Where's the ROI in selling tickets on TikTok? And oftentimes it's less of the ROI, but building an engaging fan base that's interested. So when you do post and you ask them to buy this new hat or buy tickets to opening day, you've got an audience that's engaged. Is that am I correct with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, too, I think the thing about TikTok that's really valuable, again, is having the potential to go viral at any second. You know what I mentioned? Like that Snooki video, by definition, went viral, over 5 million views, 5.2 million views. So that alone is enough power for me to justify the ROI, if you will. It also touches a younger demographic. A lot of fans are using Facebook to interact with minor league baseball teams, or Instagram or Twitter. TikTok is by far the youngest demographic you're going to reach. And that's really good for getting younger kids to want to go, hey, I want to go to a Renegades game and talk to their parents. And then they'll buy tickets from there. They'll go on Google or whatever, right? That's the whole thing about marketing in general. It's really, really strong, powerful brand impressions for free. Again, the thing I always say about TikTok to any small business owner in any industry is that you should be on TikTok. And here's why. It's not going to get you the most sales. It's going to get you the most brand loyalty and the most impressions from people who are not already in your bubble, right? People you don't interact with on a regular basis. Again, that For You page on TikTok is getting you in front of new eyeballs every single time you post. Every single time I post on TikTok for the Renegades, our follower count goes up. It doesn't matter if it gets 300 views or 5,000 or 10 million. Every time I post, it goes up, because every single time there are new people who are getting exposed to our brand. And that's really, really valuable. You don't get that exposure, that follower count increase rate on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. It's a lot harder to parse outside of your bubble, especially on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, you can do it decently and grow at a steady rate. But on TikTok especially, you hit so many new eyeballs. So I think it's a very, very, very valuable resource, and it's an extremely powerful one for an organic thing without any paid dollars.
So when we start talking about how TikTok fits in your overall marketing strategy, it's just awareness. It's a flat out an awareness play.
Yeah.
And if the ROI is how many impressions, how many eyeballs, how many people engage, if you sell some tickets through it, there's ability you can track and so forth, or maybe they buy some merchandise. That's not necessarily the number one goal. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, awareness is key. Brand loyalty is key. And then from there, it's not directly trackable, but I would guarantee there's people who've seen our TikToks and then went on Google and looked for tickets, or, followed us on Instagram and then from there went and bought tickets from one of our call to action posts, right? People are entering our brand funnel. That's the most important thing in marketing, right? And the thing with social media marketing in general is, yes, sometimes it's a little difficult to point and say, hey, this is how many, sales dollars I directly impacted the team with. But that's marketing in general, right? It's all about the brand awareness. It's all about impressions and making people know who your brand is, what you stand for, and all the things that you can do for people. And I think the Renegades TikTok, especially if we're talking just about our TikTok, is showing the fun side, letting your hair down. Or minor league baseball, we're supposed to be that personality anyway for people. We're the more wild side of baseball. We do things in a different way, more entertaining, do more promotions and fun. And that side of the brand comes out on that platform. So I think showing that to the community and the fans is extremely valuable, again, for free. No paid dollars here on Facebook and Instagram for ads to get people to buy tickets. This is all organic impressions that we were getting at a very large scale, and we do it for free. If anything, I would recommend posting more than I already do on TikTok. Again, it comes down to time. But right now, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are my priority, because it's the big three of any sports social media brand. But 2024 is a major focus for TikTok for me in our company, and we've grown significantly since the off season began.
So looking ahead, you've got the season starting in a month. You probably have some ideas or some thoughts around it. What do you have some goals that you set for TikTok for this year of, hey, I'm trying to get to 10 million impressions or 10 million video views or what? Do you kind of try to put some guardrails or some goals rather of where you're trying to get to?
My goals are more about consistency, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. I think if anything, TikTok is also the most hard to predict platform in terms of how many impressions you're going to get per post, how many likes you're going to get per post, how many new followers. Because, you'll have a 5 million view video that gets over 100,000 likes and thousands of new followers, and you're going to get one that has 300 views and 20 likes and one new follower. It's really
Mhm.
hard to measure the ups and downs. You're kind of looking to find that middle.
Mhm.
And for me, I think that I'm looking to control what we can control as a team. So that's going to be putting out content on a consistent rate. 3 to 5 times a week is the goal right now
Mhm.
for me. And as far as goals for content this season, I mean, it opens up so much to have the season back, right? With a TikTok
Mhm.
focus. I'll have an
Yep.
intern this season, which will be really helpful for having more time to post TikToks consistently. And I really want to use the team more this year. Last year, we didn't use the team very much in our content in terms of having dedicated media stations for the guys on game days. But okay, when you come down to batting practice, there'll be a whiteboard with the question of the day on it, and we'll get video from that and chop it up and make it into a TikTok. Things like that
Mhm.
we didn't do last year. We'll be implementing a lot of those different strategies this year to help give us things not only to have in our back pocket for the off season, but to post on a regular basis outside of looking for green screens and trends and things we can do to be light on our feet in the moment like we're doing right now. We're going to have highlights. We're going to have player content. We're going to have content, promotions, food, everything in our back pocket at our disposal anytime.
Mhm.
So that really opens up a whole new world for us. And I think I'm very confident that we're going to grow at our highest rate we ever have during the season. With it being baseball season, will be more top of mind. People will be more interested in following a baseball account. I think if we post consistently this year, I would be thrilled to be over 10,000 followers by the time the season's over.
That's fantastic. Going back to what you said earlier about hashtags and you were putting them in there, is there a website or a place that you looked up to find hashtags that would be relevant? How did you come up with the hashtags?
Well, to be honest with you, Jeremy, I am on social media way too much. It is my job, but I am also an avid consumer,
Uh-huh.
especially of TikTok and Twitter. Those are my two favorite platforms. So I use TikTok a lot, and I know how the community works. I
Mhm.
think that's honestly the biggest intangible of a social media manager is just understanding what the audiences want on
Mhm.
the platforms and how they behave and how they engage with pieces of content and media. So for me, as an avid consumer of the platform, I know, roughly what to hashtag things on the platform, right? If you're doing baseball, you're going to do hashtag Yankees, hashtag MILB, hashtag the name of the player, hashtag home run derby or stuff
Mhm.
like that. Because there's different creators who make home run derby content or hashtag MLB the show because it's MLB adjacent. They like baseball, they like video games. They'll probably like our
Mhm.
minor league baseball content, things like that. I also found that it's most successful to use 3 to 5 hashtags, some
Mhm.
broad, some narrow. I wouldn't recommend throwing out really, really broad ones like hashtag for you page for TikTok. That's not giving them anything. I would
Mhm.
at least use hashtag food and then hashtag hot dogs, hashtag ballpark food, hashtag,
Mhm.
what I mean. Like, get narrow, get wide. That's kind of the strategy I've deployed, and it's really worked since I've ever started doing that. And then on top of that, just trying to research other people's content that's in a similar vein to yours. You're a minor league baseball team. If you're posting baseball highlights, it's pretty easy to, like I just said, to do.
Mhm.
Home run, Yankees, whatever. But if it's you just had to post a music video for some reason, which we have done before, believe it or not.
Mhm.
We made a music video this off season and we posted it on TikTok. Go look at other, independent music artists who are really big on TikTok and look what hashtags they use.
Mhm.
Hashtag singer songwriter, hashtag independent artist, stuff like that. Hashtag song of the summer, things
Mhm.
like that that'll get people's attention to get those core users of those audiences to those people who are engaging with those independent artists and whatnot to come look at your music video. So it's a really, really powerful tool. And I would recommend people to be very intentional with the hashtags they use because it's not like on Instagram or Twitter where it's like, oh, like hashtag funny because it's just like you do it to do it. It's almost more of a aesthetic thing these days over there.
Mhm.
But on TikTok, it's extremely driven in who is seeing your videos. So that's a big part of it for sure.
Fantastic. I've also noticed some teams do prank videos. I believe that
Mhm.
Hillsborough Hops did one where the mascot was pretending to light something and then pied a guy in the face, and that got
Yep,
millions of views.
that was huge.
Is that also in your back pocket? Is kind of breaking out some prank videos?
For sure. I mean, those are great. You did mention though, as far as time and management goes, it's a little bit more work to get
Mm,
somebody to be the mascot
mm,
for a video, right? Getting the mascots is a little bit more difficult as far as I can make a lot of the videos myself, but that requires at least two other people to be pranked, be the pranker. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yep.
So I love that kind of content. I definitely want to do more mascot related things and more things that require a little bit more effort. Um, but again, I don't really see us doing a ton of that just because of the time it takes. But I do really, really enjoy that content, especially mascot related stuff. We actually made a TikTok for our mascot, but we haven't really utilized it much.
Good to know. Good to know. So just to recap a little bit, you're posting, your goal is 3 to 5 times a week, and
Yep.
it's really the tone of what you want people to know about the team and less about specific baseball content only or this content or dancing. You just say, "Hey, this is the tone. This is who we want to communicate. We're silly, we're fun, we're entertaining, we're engaging." And you don't put a tremendous amount of time into the quality of the content it just to get it out there. Is anything else I missed here?
No, not really. Yeah, I would just say don't put yourself in a box. Don't
Mhm,
even I wouldn't even say try to be anything. Just do what you think is entertaining. Be funny, you know, be aggressive, fire shots at other teams. I don't know. Just stir the pot. Get attention out there. That's the
mhm.
thing. Obviously don't be too controversial, but just go
Sure.
out there and get engagement. That's all what it's all about on TikTok.
Mhm,
You want to get those engagements. You want viewers to finish your video to completion. You want to get those shares and those comments. Follow trends, do what you want and make it yours. And I don't be too serious with what your brand voice is on there because it can be everything and anything. And that's what makes TikTok great.
yeah, what do you wanna be known for? That's kinda who you should start with, right? Is that a good takeaway?
Yeah, definitely. I think
Okay.
you want to be known for whatever you want to be known for, right? And
Mhm,
I think for the Renegades, for me right now, it's we want to be fun and interesting and more than just, hey, look at our baseball highlights. I want people to have fun experiences engaging with their content. I want people to laugh and share the video with their friends and comment and engage with us, right? Um, for them to say, hello, admin, how are you doing today? And I reply, pretty good. How about you? And then they, reply about how their day is going. Stuff like that. Just like, don't be too serious. Have fun
mhm.
and let them know that there's somebody who actually cares running the account and who wants to engage with them rather than just being this cold brand who doesn't feel like an authentic person.
Yeah, such great takeaways. Luke, appreciate you coming on, talking all things
Thank you
TikTok,
for
sharing
having me.
tremendous best practices. I mean, teams can go back and take a listen to this episode numerous times, and they're going to be able to take tidbits of lots of different things. And heck, if they implemented half of what you said, they're going to have a tremendous year on TikTok, grow their fan base. Ultimately, it'll lead to more sales on merchandise and as well as ticket sales. So it's going to be a win-win for everyone. But looking forward to continuing to follow along with the Renegades all year long and seeing all the cool stuff that you're posting out there.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you having me on, and I would love to come on again sometime soon and talk about other platforms if you had me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I'm going to put a link in the show notes to your LinkedIn post so people can actually see and a link to your TikTok so folks can hop on over to it and just follow along to what you're doing as well as maybe steal some ideas or two. And that's totally fine,
Please,
right?
please, steal. Go ahead.
Yeah,
It's all part of the internet. Social media is a world of trends. Everybody starts them. Everybody copies. You know how it is.
that's right. That's right. Well, I appreciate it, Luke.
Thank you so much.